Hi, my name's Tom Shue, and today I want to show you a really cool feature inside of Lightroom. It's called the radial filter, and you can see right here that my two daughters, they're playing with the phone, and they're really enjoying what's going on there. You can see the light from the iPhone is lighting up this daughter's face, but it's just kind of skimming off her cheek. It's kind of in the late afternoon, so the light is kind of cool. Maybe we're a little bit underexposed down here in this area, which we could fix with the brush. But this is all natural light, and it's kind of an interesting image. I like it. Well, let me tell you a little secret. This image was created completely with the radial filter. Let's look at what the real image looks like. There's the original image. Okay, this is a creation of that same image. So I've controlled the temperature, and I've made fall off on the face and everything, and I'll show you how you do that. So we're going to come over here, we're going to develop module, okay, and we're going to grab this radial tool, okay. With this radial tool selected, we're going to come over here, we're going to drag out an oval, okay. We're going to place this thing down here, and you see, since it's an oval, it'll give you this extra handle. If it's a circle, you don't get this handle, and we can create this oval, this pattern coming from the face. We need to invert this mask. Okay, actually we don't need to invert it. We need to drag the exposure down on the outside of it, and that creates kind of this tunnel of light from the iPhone to her face. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to blur the outside edges of the image. Now you see that she was just in focus as her because they're on the same plane. So how do I do that? What we do is we grab the sharpness and pull that down, okay, and it starts to make the outside edge soft based on that radial, okay, that gradient. So what we're going to do there, we're going to feather this selection a little bit so it's not such a hard transition, and I want it to kind of focus right in on her eyes. I want to control where your eyes are going, right? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this radial. To do that, you could create a new one and try to line it up, or you could use a shortcut, which is on Windows, Control Alt. On Mac, it's Command Option. And if you hover this dot and you just pull down a little bit, it duplicates it. Now it starts to darken things up a little bit because we've stacked exposure, but more so we stack sharpness. So we'll come back in. I don't want to add that much underexposure. Okay, we're trying to make it look like kind of a late afternoon shot. But in the late afternoon, we don't have that golden light. So we're going to come up here to our temperature, and we're going to bring it down some into the blue area, the blue spectrum. Okay, so maybe that looks more like later afternoon, right? So we've got double stacked, and we start to get that blur because we're sharpened. The sharpness is turned all the way down on this one. So do the same thing again. We'll duplicate it. That's Control Alt on Windows, Command Option on a Mac, and drag this down again. We create another one. So now we're really cool, and we're really underexposed. So we're going to take the exposure, fix that, and we'll fix the temperature issue, maybe half the difference on that by sliding this blue slider. Instead of resetting it completely, we come back here in this area. Okay, I just lost my mouse, so I had to jump to another mouse. My cordless mouse battery died. Sorry about that, folks. So here we are. We're back in business here. Now, with this selected, we're going to create one more. And this last one will be simply to control what's happening on the inside. So we'll do the same thing. Control Alt or Command Option. Drag down. That gives us that last one, and we're going to do invert, and we're going to reset the sharpness because we're not trying to kill the sharpness on the face, and we'll just bring down the temperature just a little bit. So it's because we know that an iPhone doesn't have a nice bright light. It's a cool display. It's kind of like an LED. As a matter of fact, it's an OLED. All right, And we can deal with maybe a little bit of clarity there. And we'll bump the saturation down just a hair. We don't need it to be so bright and blue in that pocket back there. Okay, and that kind of gives you an idea what's going on with this. And then we go back into our standard exposure controls, like maybe we'll add a vignette on it. Let's pull this amount down some. Maybe not so much. Let's feather it. Let's make it a little bit more rounded and change the midpoint on it. And there you have that same picture with the iPhone lighting your subject's face. Now, if you close your eyes and open them up really quick, your eyes go directly to that white patch on the face. Now, I'm not saying this image is something that you would put in your portfolio or anything like that. It was just an exercise to show you how you can use the radial filter to control where your subjects, where your viewers look at your subject. You know, how you control your viewers' attention. Because begin, the highlights project and shadows recede. So that's it. That's all I have today. Thanks for taking time to stop by. Until next time, we'll see you soon.